what is an entry-level CV, or rather, what do hiring managers look for from this kind of a CV? Join me in this conversation as we are going to shed more light on how this CV should be structured, and I believe it will come in handy for you, especially if you are a recent graduate and you're looking to get into the professional space. As usual, my name is Mary, and I'm glad to be joined by one of our CV writing experts, Ruth, who will be expounding more on this. Thank you, Ruth, for joining in.
I'm glad to be here. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Now, we're looking at entry-level CVs, and we'll be addressing exactly what hiring managers or recruiters are very keen on in such kind of a CVs. But before then, maybe someone is watching and they are wondering, what is an entry-level CV?
Okay, for that, a lot of people get confused about an entry-level CV. For an entry-level CV, it's a CV specifically tailored for people or individuals who are new to the job market, people who are now seeking jobs for the first time. For example, graduates, someone who has just graduated like last year, or someone who has only done an internship or attachment. Yeah.
Hence the word entry.
Entry level.
Interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of people get confused. They may think entry level means your first time for a certain role, but it's your first time in the job market.
In the job
not
market.
in that field or in that role.
Meaning you don't have much experience,
Yes.
maybe just attachment or
even
internship.
you don't have experience at all. Yeah. Or you are looking for the internship or for the attachment with that CV. That's entry level.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Now, in such kind of a CV, what do hiring managers or recruiters look for in an entry-level CV?
Okay, for an entry-level CV, as a recruiter, you don't have much to expect from this person. They don't have a lot of experience. So what they really emphasize on is the education, and this is what you as the individual, you should also emphasize on in your CV. The education background, internships if you have any, or attachments, and the key skills that you acquired during your tenure as a graduate or while in school, the key skills, education background, and any internship. Yeah, and also in the key skills section, a lot of people get confused. You find someone including skills that they are not familiar with. Just because you are doing a degree in engineering, there are some things you are not familiar with, or some softwares or any skills that you have not done and you are not familiar with. So there is no need of you exaggerating in your CV. Just put skills that you're familiar with, mostly the transferable skills, for example, communication skills, problem solving. These are things that when you're called in by the recruiter, you're able to account for. Yeah.
I like what you've mentioned, because sometimes you find candidates put skills that it is so obvious you need an experience to have acquired such a skill, and yet you don't have experience. So someone would be wondering, a hiring manager would be wondering, where did you get this skill?
You find they go to Google or this other website, they start searching on different CVs. They don't know the background of these CVs they put on this website. Then you pick those skills. Just because you have the same degree with that person, that does not mean you have the exact skill like that person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes me to ask, my last question as we conclude this video is, what are some of the common mistakes that you have observed? I believe as a CV writing expert, you've worked on revamping so many CVs at entry level. What are some of the common mistakes that you have observed, and what would you advise anyone watching the video?
The first mistake is the one I was just speaking about, exaggerating. As an entry level, okay, know your limits. That's what I'm saying. You should know your limits. You should not exaggerate yourself, or you should not exaggerate the information on your CV. Even them, the recruiters or the hiring managers, they know you don't have a lot to offer. You just graduated. The least you have done is maybe coursework or volunteer work. So no need to exaggerating. The second thing, long CVs. Too long CVs. There is no need you as an entry level to have a CV which is 3 to 4 pages. That means you are including a lot of irrelevant information. That's also the third point, including irrelevant information in your CV. So for an entry level CV, it should be at most 2 pages, not more than 2. If it's more than 2, 3 to 4 pages, remove all the irrelevant information. They are not needed in that CV. So number one, avoid too long CVs. Stop exaggerating your information in the CVs. Stop using vague statements. Be sure of the things that you're including in your CV. And the last one, I said, remove the irrelevant information.
Wow, very interesting. I know this will come in handy for anyone who is looking to get into the job market,
Yeah.
and they're wondering how best can they package their CV to sell them out. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Great. Indeed, when it comes to entry-level CVs, as Ruth has mentioned, recruiters or hiring managers, they do understand that you do not have experience. So there is no need for you to include any relevant information, irrelevant skill sets that requires someone with an experience to be able to have attained it. And that is why we encourage you, in case you're struggling with how to package your CV to sell you out, reach out to us, and Ruth, together with her team, will be able to work on your CV after having a conversation with you, just to understand which areas are you targeting and how best can your CV sell you out for those with the transferable skills in mind. I hope you found this to be very insightful. The link below will guide you on how to reach out to us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching.